Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy 005 Dynasty. So I'm sitting here in the studio and I'm like going over some of my past live stream videos that I did on YouTube, going back like a year, like dated like a year or so. And I forgot that I was on like a string of just trying to knock out a beat a day or a beat every other day, but not knock out a beat, but just like start like a concept. Start like a concept to like a instrumental from scratch and then possibly a song, right? So I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh, I got some pretty cool stuff. Like if I was to go back and touch it up, I could make something out of it, right? But one of the things that I discovered is that the sound quality that's coming from the MPC live, unit, it has flaws, man. Like the actual sound has flaws. Like it's very, very, very limited and very, very thin sounding. And the only reason why I know this, after I'm just going back and listening to beat after beat after beat after beat, all of the beats sound exactly the same when it comes to the quality. This very, very thin and no real like substance, no real like grip to them, like no real saturation or just mind pop, like ear popping, like ear candy, just like implosive, explosive like sounds, which is kind of crazy, man. I mean, I'm not I'm not making videos on like this and like Akai or MPC or anything of that nature, but I just had to make this specific video because as I'm listening to the beats, I'm like, the beats is they're alright, like they're kind of tight, but since they're missing that substance, I know for a fact, I gotta go back in there and help the instrumentals. I gotta go and help the instrumentals be better, just because the first original production inside the MPC is not hitting. It's not pumping out the way it's supposed to. And it's kind of a letdown. I'll be totally honest with you guys and you girls. It's kind of a letdown in a sense, like, if you come from an era whereas you will go into a studio and a producer would make a beat on the spot for you back in the days, it was hitting. Like the older MPCs, a producer would make a beat right there, and everybody in a studio, or maybe it probably was even a room, like a house studio, everybody be like, yo. Then you would take it, that producer would take it, bread it onto a CD for you right there on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Get it out the MPC, probably put it in the computer, bread into a CD. You go in the car, you like, yo, it's hitting. It's hitting in the car. Like the drums is hitting, the bass is hitting, and you can hear the saturation inside of the melody and stuff like that. You hear it. It sounds solid, man. It sounds firm. And I literally, man, as I'm listening to my beats on here, I'm like, yo, they not hitting. I can hear it's not hitting. And you literally can't even say anything about, oh, YouTube quality or YouTube compression. You can't say that because I've taken some of the beats that I had from back in the days. I was processing the older MPC units or older like gear, and I played it on YouTube and it was hitting. Even with the YouTube downgrade or compression, it still was hitting. You know what I mean? But these beats, man, like I'm playing them, I'm going through, like, I ain't gonna front, like I'll show you, what I mean? Like, I'm literally going through. Let me just close that out. I'm going through it. I'm just listening to stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's all these instrumentals that I was working on from scratch too, man. That's another thing. People gotta give me credit, man. You know, I literally would sit for like hours in front of the, you know what I'm saying, the MPC, and just work and not have any thought process in my head as to what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying, like creating something. But I would just sit there like 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. Those 2 hours, they add up, man. Over time, the hour and a half, it all adds up. So it's a shame. It's literally a shame that all these beats, if I wanted to use them, right, I gotta go back and reprocess them to get them to sound legit. You know what I mean? And I got one of my little tools right here. One of my tools is I got it right here. Let me put it like right here, actually. I got one of my tools right there. See, it's plastic up. So keep that dust out of there. But this joint right here is one of the tools that's going to help me with that if I want to. I mean, it's definitely it helps me with all my production, all my new beats and stuff like that. But what I'm doing now is I'm literally make sure that don't fall. Yeah, I'm literally like sending my beats through. I mean, I'm literally making my beats like through the outboard gear, mainly, not through the MPC anymore. I mean, I know you can make some ill stuff in the MPC, like to start out with, but then you gotta process it. The way that I'm doing it now is I'm making my beats literally coming out like my rolling keyboard outboard gear. Then I'll process that into the MPC just so I can maneuver it. I could mess around with it even more. Even though I technically don't even have to do that, because there's a workstation built into the rolling. You know what I'm saying? It is a workstation. I could literally do everything inside the rolling if I want to. But I like the MPC. So send it into the MPC, and then from there, I'll process it. Coming out the MPC, I process it through the analog heat or things of that nature, or all my other outboard gear to get it to fatten up. But it's just crazy because like before I got like the outboard gear, right? Or before I started to get the right outboard gear, because I had outboard gear in like 2019, right? In like 2019, I had outboard gear, but a small amount. Now I have a lot more, but now I have a lot of the right pieces. That's the thing. I have a lot of the right pieces nowadays that legit gets me from point A to point B fast, right? But when I was making these beats, literally I'm live streaming it too, so it's going straight to YouTube. And I'm making a beat. You can see me into the beat, like I'm feeling what I'm doing, like I'm investing myself into the craft, into the art of it. But now, since I got the right gear, and I've listened to my beats I've made recently within like the last 3 months or so, like that 3 or 4 months, then I come back to these beats. I'm like, yo, like what happened? Why is it so thin and so airy and so weak? Like you could hear that it is trying to get to that point, like it's coming out okay, but it ain't hitting. It ain't hitting. It is not, it's not saturated. It's not warm. It's not thick. It's not full. It's just thin, flat, and airy. And like, I think that's kind of sad, man. I don't think the new machines that we have now should be pre-production machines. I think they should be machines, man. Like if you paying, they should be machines. I don't care like if you getting the flagship or you getting something that might not be the flagship, but maybe it's like a step down. It should still hit something. I ain't gonna lie, man. These ain't hitting. I'm gonna have to make them hit if I even want to go back and reprocess them. I might just stick to just going straight outboard gear. But it's your boy Old 5 Dynasty, man. Just wanted to do a quick video and showcase this because it's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy.